Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. First things first, I avoided a deck tech on this strategy because I wanted to make sure that it was actually a thing before suggesting it to anyone. Now that it's performed really well once again, the floodgates are open. Time to talk Jeskai Ascendancy combo in Standard. We haven't had a true combo deck in Standard in a while, so this deck tech is going to work a little differently. Rather than go through the lands, creatures, spells, etc., I'm going to talk about the cornerstone of the strategy and how each card in the deck helps it to win. If you like combo decks, gambling, and making your opponents want to rip your head off while feeling completely helpless at the same time, Jeskai Ascendancy combo might just be for you. This is going to be fun. As many of you may have guessed, the combo revolves around the card Jeskai Ascendancy. For 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 white, you get an enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Untap those creatures. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So let's break this down. You cast any non-creature spell, your team gets buffed, they untap, and you get a loot trigger. These are 3 very different abilities, but they work wonderfully together. Let me explain. Your primary win condition is decking your opponent. Here's a step-by-step ideal situation. You play a Sylvan Caryatid or Rattleclaw Mystic, preferably Caryatid. Then you play the Ascendancy. You cast Retraction Helix on your mana producer, giving it the ability to bounce any non-land permanents to its owner's hand until end of turn. After this, you play an artifact spell with 0 as a converted mana cost. Most people use Tormod's Crypt, Astral Cornucopia, or Briber's Purse. Remember, these free artifacts are non-creature spells, so they trigger the Ascendancy. Once they're in play, you can use your Caryatid or Mystic to bounce them back to your hand. Then you play them again for free, triggering the Ascendancy again, which buffs your creatures and untaps them in addition to giving you another loot effect. You can use this interaction over and over again, looting through your entire deck until you find a card like Altar of the Brood. Then all you have to do is play the altar on the same turn all this is going on, and just keep the interaction going. Each time you bounce and replay the 0 mana artifact, the altar triggers, milling your opponent. Since you can do this infinitely if you aren't disrupted, you mill your opponent for their entire deck right there on the spot. This combo may seem complicated, and it definitely can be. There are a lot of moving pieces, and the deck doesn't have a lot of room for craziness. When you play a combo deck, it's all about getting all your pieces online. To do that, the entire rest of the deck is all about digging for those pieces. You run 4 Dig Through Time, 4 Commune with the Gods, 3 Taigam Scheming, and 2 Treasure Cruise. I was unsure about the spread of these, but after this past weekend, I'm not anymore. It's a great combination of dig effects. Their uses, or should I say singular use, is pretty self-explanatory. You need all your pieces to win. These are great filter cards that fill your graveyard for more delve shenanigans and get you through your deck faster. In addition to these filter spells, 2 Satyr Wayfinder are amazing. Remember, you're running a 4-color deck. You need to be able to cast Sylvan Caryatid and Jeskai Ascendancy on curve. That isn't easy. The Wayfinder gives you some much-needed mana fixing while enabling delve and providing an extra body in case you need to protect your other creatures from a crackling doom or similar nonsense. As far as 0 mana artifacts are concerned, personally I love me some Astral Cornucopia, but I'm starting to lean towards Tormod's Crypt. It has relevance in the format beyond just being a combo enabler. Your deck isn't the only one utilizing delve. I'll suggest 2 to 3 Crypt. In the end, it's up to you, but I feel like this is where you want to be. 4 is just too many, and 1 is just not enough. 3 seems perfect, honestly. There are also cards in the deck that help you filter through your deck and cast your spells even easier. 2 Dragon Mantle and a Voyaging Satyr are fantastic in every way. The mana lets you draw a card whenever it enters the battlefield. If you're struggling to find your pieces, you can always put the Helix on your Caryatid, play Mantle, then just keep bouncing it over and over again, drawing a card and looting a card every time. You'll find something you want. The Voyaging Satyr is just a good way to keep your mana open if you need it. It's an extra body with a good effect. You could run Kiora's Follower, but honestly your mana isn't that forgiving. I don't want to have to fetch for a forest to cast the Follower if I don't have to. Sure, you need green mana for your mana dork, but you don't also need blue. It's just more of a problem that I wouldn't want to deal with, especially when that card isn't exactly your primary win con. The last card in the deck is Swan Song. Most people who run this only run one, but I think you might be able to justify two. I know the deck is tight on space, but the card is an insurance policy. It protects you from disruption in the form of, I don't know, anything. It's 1 blue mana to ensure victories. No reason to avoid playing it. I'll quickly go over the mana base. It's super ugly, but it's as consistent as you're going to get with a deck that needs green on turn 2 and blue, red, and white on turn 3. The only playset is Mana Confluence, since it's the perfect land for you. The deck also runs a pair of Flooded Strand and Wooded Foothills. After that, you have 2 each of Frontier Bivouac, Temple of Abandon, Temple of Mystery, and Yavimaya Coast. The land base rounds out with 1 Temple of Plenty and 1 each of Forest, Island, Mountain, and Plains. I told you the mana was ugly, but again, it really is the best you're going to get. Now that we've gone through each part of the deck, let's take a general look at synergy. The Ascendancy lets you loot, which means that you get more cards in your graveyard. This lets you cast early game Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise. Those cards get you more Commune with the Gods, Taigam Scheming, and other search cards if you don't find what you need. Since the entire deck is your combo and ways to get your combo, you'll draw something relevant most of the time. It's criminal how consistent this combo deck is for having so many moving parts. It really is impressive. The biggest problem you have with the strategy is disruption, obviously. To deal with that, your sideboard has a lot of secondary plans. The first thing I would sideboard is the rest of your Swan Song. Against disruption-heavy decks that run Utter End or any counterspell ever, you have to be able to stop them or you just lose. Swan Song is necessary for those decks. You'll also come across aggressive strategies that, when left unchecked, could kill you by turn 4 or 5. If you don't have the ability to go off by then, you may need to buy yourself some extra time. Magma Spray, Lightning Strike, Arc Lightning. All these are great for dealing with early threats, Goblin Rabblemaster being one of the worst for you. Heaven forbid they're running green and get him out turn 2. You gotta kill him. Beyond that, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, the rest of your sideboard is largely meaningless. You often don't want to be sideboarding anything, because with every substitution you make, you hurt your combo that's already vulnerable. I don't often suggest this, but the vast majority of the time, just don't sideboard. Seriously, it's a combo deck. Your job is to be the thing that other people deal with. You don't deal with their stuff, they deal with you. Well, there you have it. What do you all think about Jeskai Ascendancy combo? I love having a combo deck in Standard. I think it's hysterical, and I hope the strategy keeps improving. It's been too long since we've had a true combo deck in the format. How do you feel about it? If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, leave them down below and we'll talk about it. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.